Back to another video, guys. We are going to be reacting to some of the videos that we have seen around the football industry today. So let's not waste any more time. Like, subscribe, and let's get straight into it.
If we get north of 60 million this summer for Odegaard, we should sell him.
I don't think so. I think maybe after this season, because I think it's just a rough patch. He's had a lot going on. He's been an injury, first child. If anyone, I don't know, obviously the viewers, if you have any children yourself, especially if it's your first one. I'm on my third one, and it's crazy, okay? But he needs to show that was just a blip and not worrying signs that he's on a decline.
Nah, 60 mil is, I mean,
No, not for me.
north of 60 mil, he's a big season ahead of him.
I keep him, man. Like, no.
I'd be bringing competition in to see if that gives him what he needs rather than be selling him this summer.
Yeah. A guy said yesterday that we're basically going to have Real Sociedad's midfield.
Yeah.
Right? Because you go to Odegaard, Marino, Zubamendi.
Yeah.
That is true. That is actually wild. That is actually wild. It's actually wild. But yeah, I think there's a player in there. And one thing I disagree with, right, is my fellow Arsenal fans just berating him. When other players go through these rough patches, you don't see other fans do this to these players, calling him washed, calling him this, calling him that. Some of the stuff that Arsenal fans have been saying about Odegaard is just over the top. These are the same fans that complained and that were crying when Odegaard got first injured, throwing the league title away because Odegaard got injured, and all of a sudden he's washed, he's crap because obviously he's not having the best of seasons. Yeah.
Right. But I think
They win anything?
they won nothing.
Yeah.
But Odegaard had a bad season.
He did.
But just because he's had a bad season, I don't think we should be selling him. I think we should be actually bringing someone in to really offer serious competition to him. 60 million is not enough. Last season, prior to last season, we would never even have dreamt of that.
And I'm glad that Robbie said this because, again, before this season just ended, last season we wouldn't even entertained anything below 100 mil. They just mentioned there bringing in someone that can kind of challenge him, right? And I'm thinking maybe a Morgan Gibbs or a Morgan Rogers. Perfect. Both of them, they start off as maybe like an 8, then transition maybe into a 10. They're able to play into the channels. They're able to play out wing sometimes. I would love one of them, either a Morgan Rogers or a Morgan Gibbs, to come in and start challenging. I would love that. That would be great.
Now to our interview with Louis van Gaal.
Well, it says here a commercial club, not a football club. But he's talking about, I'm guessing he's talking about Man United, no? Bro, you just come out of nowhere and start shooting. Damn.
He didn't hold back on his former club Manchester United either, claiming they are a commercial club, not a football club.
Wow.
Who was sacked by United in 2016 despite winning the FA Cup, has been outspoken in the past about how a primary focus on business can affect decisions made on the pitch. Now, Van Gaal believes United managers don't get a big enough say on transfers, and he wants them to follow the example set by their bitter rivals, Liverpool.
It is still a commercial club.
Ronaldo said it when he went back the second time, right? He said he came back and nothing has changed. He came back and everything was still the same as in 2009. But then you say this, you hear this, but then you're looking at Erik ten Hag, and didn't he get the guys that he wanted? He brought in the guys that he wanted, Martinez, Xerxes, Anthony. He wanted these guys. He wanted these guys, right? So maybe under the old sort of chief in command, that's what used to happen, but not now. The last, especially Erik ten Hag, he has got the guys that he wanted. So yeah,
It's not a football club, I think. I have said that before. And that's always difficult when not the manager is deciding which player has to come. Is very difficult.
Do you prefer the old style where the manager picks the players, and do you think that's the way it should be? Because it's very rare these days.
I think it is the way that it should be.
but that's the thing. Like, football has changed since since like Van Gaal days, right? Since he was, in his prime in terms of management. Sporting directors, technical directors are coming in and they're having their say and they're helping with negotiations and so on and so forth, and they're bringing you sort of a list of players. Football's gone beyond just having, the managers having full say, because sometimes you can be tunnel visioned, right? You're thinking, you need someone else that's not in the dressing room, that is watching a team from afar with maybe not so much emotions involved, that they can tell you, like, listen, this is not working, that's not working, potentially bring these players in. So whilst I do agree that yes, the manager needs to have the final say, obviously, but I think the game's gone past just letting the manager just have full say. That's what I think anyway. Let me know what you guys think.
Oh, how comes we ain't done nothing yet? Chelsea have done this, but Chelsea done loads last season. Look at how many players Chelsea signed last season. How many of them worked? How many were even playing?
I think with the lap, they've got a little bit like.
I think it's a good sign.
I think it's a very good sign.
I think Chelsea have done very well with the lap. I would have minded a little the lap. Again, it seems like he's got it. Seems like he's got that skill, that level that you need in the Premier League. If you're scoring 12 goals for a team like Ipswich, levels, man. And if it works, that means they've just poached 2 great players from Manchester City straight from the academy.
But there's still that. He's had a year in the Premier League, which probably helps him out a little bit. But there's still that ceiling. We're going to talk about ceiling. He's nowhere near the finished article at this moment in time. So are we going to, if Arsenal signed the lap, would we have been all happy about it? That's my point.
I would have been happy. With the lap. I think a lot of guys would have been happy with the lap, because you know what? I am under the impression that if we've got, from where you might hear it, we might have 250 mil to spend, especially if we get rid of a couple of players as well. We might have even 300 to spend. Why not get a Liam Delap? I was about to say Roy Delap. Why not get a Liam Delap to come in and get a main striker like a Sesko or a gyokeres, and then you've got 2 strikers, even more squad depth. Sometimes when we're playing teams against the low block, which is quite often, instead of us switching like for like on 1 striker, why don't we bring on 2 strikers and give them something to think about? This is the variety that I want from us next season. I want us to be able to switch from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-2-2. I want us to have variety to keep the other team guessing.
I mean, I think we would have been, but
I would have been.
But we've been going on.
We'd be like,
ready.
that's not enough.
No,
We'd be like,
of course, it's not enough.
He's not ready. He's not enough. We need something else apart from that,
Yeah.
So if Chelsea go in with that of Delap and
But this is the worrying thing as well, was that people said Cole Palmer wasn't enough when they first signed him. People just thought, Cole Palmer's going to be someone that just, kind of transitions in and he's going to develop and stuff, and then he comes in, boom, set the ground running. The thing is that what they have over Sesko and Gyokeres and maybe Osimhen and all the other strikers that are potentially linked, he's been here for a year. He knows what the league is all about. He's played against some of the defenders. He knows certain defenders, how they play and what they're going to be doing. So he already has that advantage.
Benjamin Sesko is one that's been linked with Arsenal. He's playing for RB Leipzig currently, and TalkSport understands that Arsenal have stepped up their interest in him. 13 goals in 33 Bundesliga games last season then for RB Leipzig. I mean, is he the final piece of the jigsaw for Arsenal to maybe next season being the final title-winning season that they've been hoping for?
Well,
I'm just going to pause it there because I've just seen, it says here, Liverpool turned down Barcelona's approach for Luis Diaz. I even heard last season that Man City almost signed Diaz, if I'm not wrong.
I mean, he's a handful. He's quick. He's great on one-on-ones. He's had some indifferent times in his career. I don't think he'll get the numbers that Gyokeres gets.
Okay.
For me, he's a way more traditional centre forward, more directly to line. Look, but they've been apparently after Sesko for more than a year. So it's a transfer that they probably were told last season he's not going this year, but you can have a chance next year, and they feel like they're probably in the box seat for that.
And that's another reason why I think that this this has been going on between Gyokeres and Sesko. I think because they done so much work last year, I think last year from January last year, they were preparing for Sesko to move in the summer, and it seemed like everything was good, and then last minute they said no. So I think now they're kind of prepared for the situation, spoke to both Gyokeres and Sesko just in case it happens again, or maybe, just in case it would have happened with Victor Gyokeres. I think Berta wanted to make sure that we have at least one striker ready for us to just click in, bang, job done.
Do you remember the game against Man United in the semi-final in the Cup? Thought he played really well that day. Led the line brilliantly. His touch is great. Brings people in the game.
So he's been linked now.
His goals are ridiculous. He's got a ridiculous amount for Sporting.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of goals. I know people are complaining that he's playing for a lower league and stuff, but you can't deny that the man's a unit. Like Tony just said there, he is a handful, and that's what you want your striker to be. You want your striker to be a handful and to score goals, obviously, but you want handful, aggression, strong, and like Tony said as well, bring in a couple players to obviously, chip in with the other goals.
97 goals in 102 games, actually.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
On Sesko, one of his strengths is his pace. And it's always good to have pace in the line-up, obviously, to cause many issues, whether it's stretching a defence.
Well, that's a manager's choice. If he's looking for that burst of pace, gets in between defenders, turns defenders, around and gets them in one-on-one situations, then I totally get that transfer. Yeah. Totally see it. Because that was the sort of player that, I'm going to give a bad example because he was so good, is Henry. Henry's strength was his pace, getting in behind, and how direct he could be, and was fantastic at finishing on one-on-one.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I know what he's trying to say, but he had more of a skill set than that. He had technique, he had composure, anticipation, awareness. First touch was great, dribbling was great. So yeah, pace was probably one of his skill set, but he had so much skill sets to his game.
Once the bended pass into the bottom corner was brilliant. What Henry used to do. Yeah. But that's a long way from Sesko. He's still 22, so he's a relatively very young man.
You mentioned Victor Gyokeres then playing at Sporting Lisbon.
Gyokeres,
he's, by all reports, saying Champions League football is not a necessity for him.
And this is another thing about Man United as well. When you're getting linked with the likes of Mbeumo, obviously like you just said there, Gyokeres, he's turned around and said, you know what, I don't really mind going to Manchester United. It just shows you how much of a big club Manchester United are. This season they had a bad season, a bad patch. Obviously it's never happened to Man United before, but it just shows you how big of a club Man United are when players still want to join them. They still want to join the club. It just shows you levels. And if Gyokeres does go to Man United, I guess we'll be able to see which player we should have got. Let me know what you guys think anyway. Leave a comment below whether you're pro Gyokeres or pure Sesko.
There's some amazing leaked away shirts for the 25-26
What is that? What was that? Is that Man City? That is awful. That must be fan made. Looks like AI. I hope it's AI because god dang, that's horrible, man.
Shirts for the 25-26 season. Arsenal have thrown it back to the Bruce.
Yeah, I get it. Not bad.
Of their shirt with this very sick away shirt. I love
Not bad.
That.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Not so much. I think more effort could have been put into this one. This Dortmund shirt, if this is what gets released.
Honestly, this is screaming Man United, I think 03 or 04, if you know what I mean. Vodafone when Van Nistelrooy was there. This is what this is screaming out. This is what this is screaming out without a doubt.
Please, take all of my money. Take it. Inter Milan. That is a...
I don't like that. I'm not liking that. Like, obviously, this is why, opinions are made. I do not like this. It's okay. Nothing crazy.
Great design football shirt. Juventus looks a bit...
It's cooking. It's alright. It's alright.
Like a science petri dish has been zoomed in on. Did anyone guess which country?
Newcastle, they always have these green kits, obviously due to the owners that they have, but it's not bad.
country owns Newcastle. Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, this kit is nice. I like this. I like this. This kit is nice. This kit is good. This kit is good. I've always liked kits where you can wear them outside. This will be something that you can wear outside with a, you know, a pair of jeans with a nice chain, and especially during summer as well.
Honestly, yeah. If this is what it is,
Yeah.
love it. I honestly think a lot of
What is that?
people who don't know a lot about football would not realise this is a Roma shirt. And finally, this Valencia kit. Wow. Here are some amazing.
It was okay. It was okay. There's some decent kits in there. Bro. This is what I see Sesko. Sesko is like that. Sesko is rapid. I didn't realize how rapid he was, but Haaland, that is crazy. And for him to be able to finish that as well, absolutely crazy. He's a specimen.
We can bring you some updated transfer lines coming into us now. According to Sky in Italy, Victor Osimhen has now accepted Al Hilal's contract offer. So now.
Oh man. Oh, it's sad, like, and this is no disrespect to the Saudi league and stuff, but got a great player who's young, who's been putting up these crazy numbers, and I, for one, I don't know why other top clubs in Europe are not going for him. It might be his wage preference or his choices, but I still think he's got so much to give in Europe. At least do well in Europe, do well in Champions League. Obviously he's done well in Italy, but I wanted to see him maybe do well in England, maybe go to Spain, do well for maybe 2-3 years, and then go to the Saudi league. Money talks, I guess.
Pelé and the Saudi club must come to a final agreement, with Al Hilal submitting, it was a €70 million offer. That was actually 5 million away from the Italians' valuation for the player. They'd already
70 million for Osimhen. Great in the air, great striker, done it before, in and out Europe. I don't know why top clubs are not going for him. There must be something wrong. I think it might be his wage. Yeah, it might be that.
Of course, come in for him with 2 bids. They were turned down, but a final offer there, and it does look like he is on his way to Saudi Arabia, and of course linked with English clubs as well, not coming to the Premier League. He's heading to Saudi.
Really well. He's in a club that helps him very much, in a national team that helps him very much. It's a very good atmosphere for him to show his qualities that are very big. But what I really ask for him, to do him, is to let him grow, not to put him under so much pressure.
Yeah, I agree. Like, don't get me wrong, Yamal is a specimen. He's a great specimen, but they're running him into the ground, man. They're running the boy into the ground. This guy is not even turned 18 or 19. This guy's still 17. And they're running him into the ground. The amount of games that he's playing is crazy. If they're not careful, they will shorten his career, without a doubt. They will definitely shorten his career. He's an amazing player. He's obviously gonna be a great player, maybe one of the next Messis or Ronaldos that we're talking about. But him playing so many games at that age, don't be surprised if you start seeing a lot of, like, happen to Neymar, happen to Michael Owen, where they get to mid-20s and they're starting to pick up all these injuries because of the game time. He's playing for both Spain and Barcelona so many games. And if you compare him to the likes of like Doué, who older than him but not featuring as much, you can get to see the difference. Too many games, too many minutes, too young. Did you enjoy the video? If you did, let me know which video was your favorite one. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.